the 1950s and over the course of the decade, the Ricardos were one of America's most famous families. But behind the camera, who were Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz? WFMY News 2's photojournalist shares a glimpse. He shares a glimpse of their story and tells us what he thinks of the new biopic, Being the Ricardos.
Lucy, I'm home. I don't even need to tell you where that's from because you already know what that is. I Love Lucy is one of those shows that changed the American TV landscape, so who isn't a little bit curious to take a peek behind the laugh track and gaze upon the real people that were Lucy and Desi? Being the Ricardos has you covered. Kind of.
Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the show!
And action!
I had no idea it was going to be a hit.
Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem star as the legendary Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, the towering Hollywood power couple and comedy duo that created one of the most watched shows of all time. However, when one tumultuous week of production brings unspeakable turmoil both professionally and personally, Lucille and Desi must navigate through a minefield that leads them both to re-examine their careers and their marriage. Acclaimed writer. That's better. Acclaimed writer Aaron Sorkin sits down again in the director's chair in Amazon's Being the Ricardos, a flashy, sporadic film that is just as messy as the real-life marriage of Lucille and Desi. Sorkin has his signature rat-a-tat dialogue that allows scenes to move at a brisk pace, always keeping the audience engaged. Even when the placement of those scenes don't make sense. That's where the messiness comes in. The film flashes back in time far too often, and that disrupts the core narrative at play. Even if you're not lost, these flashbacks don't seem to add in the exploration of the central focus of the movie, Lucille and Desi. Which brings me to the casting of Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. Right out of the gate, do they look like their characters? No. However, I think they do a decent job with the material that they are given. Bardem oozes charisma as Arnaz, but his character always plays a backseat to Kidman's Ball. Kidman, on the other hand, while she makes interesting choices in exploring Lucille Ball's emotional core, simply feels stiff in the role, lacking the magic that made Lucy an icon. Being the Ricardos is merely a fine addition to the biopic genre. Some solid performances, a couple of good laughs, and some engaging, albeit untidy direction. While its one-liners may keep you entertained, I hope one day we get a Ball and Arnaz story that is just as iconic and uproarious as they were. Until then, I'm giving Being the Ricardos a for you to decide. You can find it playing in select feeders and streaming on Amazon Prime.